As I said, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stephen White. I'm the General Manager for Toa Global. Based here on the awesome Gold Coast, we have customers across the globe, and we support accounting and bookkeeping business with offshore resources. I've spent my career in the accounting industry. I started my life as an accountant, graduated as an accountant here in the Gold Coast. I've worked for technology businesses, and I now work for a people business. I'm really excited today to, jump into this session and take you through what it looks like to have an awesome experience for your clients, but to also deliver on what you promise. We won't always get it right, but there's avenues and frameworks that you can employ that will really drive the service levels home for your business and ensure that what your clients are expecting, you can achieve and deliver upon. So this session is all about, as Andrea mentioned, retention. We want to aim to deliver and walk away from the session knowing how to really work closely with your clients, understand them as people, their businesses, and the communities that they work within. There are three main important ingredients to making sure you have a successful business and deliver upon what you say you can do. I want to start the session with a really excellent quote by the late Steve Jobs, and that is, you have to start with the customer experience and work backward to the technology. As I know, and as you know, in many accounting and bookkeeping firms today, there's so much technology, there are so many frameworks, and there's so many ideas out there that will really enable your business to be successful. But to be really successful, we've got to make sure we focus on the things that matter. And for all of our businesses, including mine and yours, the most important thing is the customers that you serve. And so as I take you through the next 40 to 45 minutes, we're going to come back to the central point to make sure that we really focus on what matters for your clients, understanding them, and having an intimate relationship with those customers to make sure you can deliver upon those things and really strive and deliver a client experience that is above all those around you. Gone are the days where we just focused on customer service. The definition, obviously, for customer services is just providing the assistance or advice to your customers at the time they want to buy it. Customer experience, though, is different. And customer experience is all about how you feel when you're working with that particular vendor. So think about the last time you made a major purchase. It might have been for some new large software in your business. It might have been buying your wife or your partner a car, or even purchasing a second or your first home. All of the emotions that you went through are the feelings that you're experiencing in that particular purchase. And so what we're going to walk away with here is understanding that every experience that your customers have with you will all create feelings. And it's how your customers perceive these and these interactions that will seriously define how your business is perceived and the love that your customers will share for your organization. Ultimately, when we think about the customer experience and the journey that they're on, it's really important that we can define what that looks like, and we need to make sure we can meet them on that journey. If you think about the buying process that you went through for that house or for that car, there's simple little things that you would have done. You might have got excited by a car sales advert coming up. You might have got excited by that advert for the real estate that's on the waterfront here in the Gold Coast, or that awesome apartment, or that house in the suburbs of Melbourne. All those feelings that came through, and the first time you interacted with that organization ultimately led you to either buy, not buy, or continue to subscribe to that particular offering or business purchase. So it's really important when you think about your clients and the way in which you interact on a daily basis, understanding fundamentally their needs, but also understanding the emotions behind the purchase or what they're looking for from an outcome perspective, so that you can start to link up that to the outcome that you're able to provide. And that will allow you to join them in what we define as their emotional journey. So a clear understanding of what those customers are looking for, where they are in that particular journey, and how you can complement them with the outcomes they're looking to achieve. It's super exciting being based in the accounting industry and the bookkeeping world. I get to visit many accounting firms across Australia, New Zealand. I've had the opportunity to visit firms in the UK and in the US. What's really, really interesting is the first moment you enter or work with one of those businesses. So for a moment here, I want you to think about how would you perceive your business if you were a customer interacting with you or one of your team members for the first time. It might be walking into your office at the lift for the first time and getting a sense of the excitement your business can offer. It might even be a Twitter or a LinkedIn engagement. What are those experiences like? And how can you create something that's remarkable that allows your clients to seriously get a wow or an excitement moment from that first, second, and third interaction with your business? When you create these experiences, it's really clever and really personal to think about what that relationship will look like and how you can deliver upon it. I think about the times I've dealt with many accounting firms and how personalized some of those relationships have been. I can also think about the times where it hasn't been personal and it's been really transactional in nature. In my first couple of years as working as an accountant here on the Gold Coast, most of my time was spent putting together BAS statements or simple I returns. The nature of that particular business was really transactional because I delivered a product in a timely manner and I moved on to the next product. The personalized service that was available there, I hadn't actually jumped into deep enough, nor understood what the client was looking for. And I think as we all know on the phone call, not every single customer just wants to deal with the ATO and get their I return or their BAS return done in the quickest pace possible. Most of the time, that particular mark in the year or that particular area they need to complete is for a bigger purpose. So what you need to think about is how can you personalize the relationships with your clients and then start to increase that at scale. As your business starts to grow, as your business starts to expand into different niches or different pockets, what will happen is it becomes more and more difficult to maintain that personal relationship that you had with some of your key clients. Most of my friends that are in the accounting industry who are well liked and well thought of typically start to grow their business based on referrals. And all of a sudden it becomes such a beast that it's quite hard to handle and have that intimate knowledge of all of your customers. So as I go through the latter part of this session, I'm going to talk you through some of the things that I've seen at my previous employment, but also at TOA Global, and how you can deliver the personalized relationships and also personalize the service you have for your customers, but do it in a way that you can do it at scale and deliver it to them in a way that it actually makes sense for that particular customer. As I dive a bit deeper down into what it looks like, you've got to remember these days that most of your customers or even your team or the people you work alongside will have different ways of communicating. So it's really important that you take a moment to actually think through what does it look like for this particular customer or for this particular team member to feel connected into myself, my business, or with my employees. Now, on a day-to-day basis here at TOA Global, we ensure that we can try and deliver the wow. And I'll be honest, we don't always hit that mark, but we have frameworks in place that allow us to actually look at where we can improve day to day. At the start of every single day, our full account management team here will sit down together in a daily huddle and go through all of the hot topics they need to include for that particular day and any escalations that need to be looked at by myself or somebody else higher up. So we look at how we do that in a personal way, but then there's different modes at which you can engage with your customers. So for example, some customers like to be contacted by an email, and I know as accountants and bookkeepers, that's probably one of our most favorite mediums because it's recorded instantly and you can get a receival at some point. But sometimes a video message or even a presentation can be a better mode to getting information out to your clients. So as you go through the customer journey, and you start to adopt different methodologies to support your customer experience, it's important to acknowledge that there are different modes or touch points that we can embed into that customer journey. And these are the elements that will allow you to scale your experience with your clients. As we go through later in the session, I'm going to talk to you about how we onboard new clients here at TOA. And I'll also talk you through how we can actually make their life and their journey with our business exceptional by using technology and people to support and what that experience looks like. So here's one of the key secrets, and it's not that hard to do. So what you need to look at is your customer base. It's super important that you have an intimate relationship with your clients to understand the world in which they live. It might seem really easy by all the social media stars these days to get your name out in the lights, but that can take a lot of time. What's really important is having the time to spend with the people you're looking to work with and your customers, and to really take a genuine, authentic look at what they do. So whether you work in a niche of business or whether you work across multiple industries, look for your team and the people you work with to really have a genuine connection with those customers and clients that you serve. Interesting fact here that you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years trying to get other people interested in you. I mean, that's a bit hard to hit sometimes when you think about it, but the reality is, and you can tell that from this from every single salesperson you work with or any of your friends, the more you ask somebody questions about them, the more willing they are to provide them. Not often will they be so willing to sit there and listen to you talk about yourself. So if you've got an awesome customer base or you're growing your customer base, here's how you can become a rock star in a short amount of time by just getting to know their business and them on a personal level. It'll help you serve them more, but you'll also have a really genuine and authentic connection to what they do. Typically in business, what we've seen in the past is all about looking at ourselves and how we can help the customer. The back to front approach here in some regard meant that we always looked at our business inward before looking at what the customers were after. Most of the time now, our big technology companies, our big people companies, most of the time with all the companies who are getting big backing from VCs, will typically have a customer focus approach before the productization of what they do. So you'll see things like with the likes of Apple and those sorts of firms, typically they're looking to solve a problem with the customer in mind first, before they wrap around that what the products might look like. So from an accounting or bookkeeping perspective, we already know some of the customers' problems, and it's here we need to look first to ensure that we can actually support those clients and then put a product around them. Pretty exciting over the last 3 to 5 years, we've had such an amazing amount of technology hit the ground or hit the cloud, if you like, and actually spearhead what it looks like to have a customer service or a customer excellence approach. I'm sure you're all aware that most of the software companies out there, and particularly those that are in the cloud, will spend a lot of time with your firms talking about the features, the benefits, and the outcomes that their particular technology will provide to your business. What's really good about that is it's allowed all of the accountants and bookkeepers to see a way in which these new firms will sell or complement your business. What I love about this particular change in the way in which they came to market or the approach they took is it was led by the customer requirements and the customer requests. So what that means is, if I looked at an accounting firm today or a bookkeeping firm, and I was looking after some particular advice about structuring my business or looking for ways to exit my business, the first thing I'm looking for is an accountant that speaks to or is in that world. The second thing I'm looking for is the outcomes you can provide to me in a way that makes sense. Now, being of middle age, typically I go straight to Twitter or Google to find an accountant like this, and I'm looking for information and content to actually assist me to get to that place. Now, again, what the customer is looking for is the outcomes. So the way in which you have intimacy with your client base is to know the industry you work within or the niche, understand inherently what those problems or those issues or concerns could be, and address those to the market in a way that makes sense so I can clearly see the outcome. What that allows you to do is really provide a front to back service where your customers can actually understand how you can help them out, and then obviously allow you to retain them over the longer term. So the more we know about our customers, the easier it becomes to wow them in all interactions. Here at Toa, we have an awesome office located on the 12th floor of quite a high-rise building for the Gold Coast. We have a Chief Experience Officer here at our front desk, and Georgia will welcome every single person into our office, whether it's a team member, whether it's a client, whether it's a supplier or vendor. Every single person gets a personalized welcome when they enter as reception, and then they're provided with a tea or coffee as they sit down. As we start to collect that information about our clients or vendors, we actually have that recorded into our systems. So the next time we see there's an appointment coming up or that person's coming to visit our office, we're able to compliment them straight away and provide them what they're after. These are the little things and the little interactions that will make a significant difference to the perspective that your clients have with your business. Every single time they have a small wow moment, every single time they get that feeling of excitement and joy, because you're able to do something that's genuine and personal to them, you're going to score points, and it allows you to retain that client over a longer period. It also means if something goes haywire on a once-off, that is only one small thing compared to all the other things you've done along that particular journey. The next point I want to raise here is all about making sure you understand and have purposeful curiosity about that particular customer or client. So that is understanding back to front their business, understanding back to front their personal goals, and understanding back to front how you play a part in that particular client's life cycle with your business. Even though you might not be able to serve them personally or ultimately one-to-one, if you can create a community around that particular client or that customer's requirements or needs, you can really service that client in a way that nobody else can. So you'll notice in our community, we work very closely with the likes of Xero, FuseWorks and FuseSign, Class Super and BGL. We have a tight connection to a large community of providers. And what it allows us to do is really over-service and over-deliver to our clients with an exceptional level of intel around what they do and what they need so that they feel fully complemented around their business. A lot of accounting firms, booking firms are moving to a one-stop shop. And that means you need to be able to have the connections in place to provide that level of service around those particular clients. So take the time to listen, watch, because you can learn a lot about your customers in a really short amount of time. So we spoke just earlier about getting to know your client and making sure you're really curious about them. And then secondly, we spoke to making sure you're watching and listening to them so you can learn about pretty much everything about that particular client. So here at Toa, we have a 3 Ps policy, which is people, places, and platforms. And I'm going to talk to you about that, how we brought that into this business here, because this made a fundamental change to the way in which we delivered services for our organization and for our clients. So key to your customer excellence and retention strategy is your people. Whenever we onboard somebody here at TOA, we make sure we deliver world-class training that allows them to fundamentally understand how our business operates and how we solve the problems of accountants and bookkeepers. Directly or indirectly, we understand the problems and the requirements of accountants and bookkeepers, and we complement those by the products that we have here or those of our partners. So what we take our team through is an 8-week induction course that allows them to get their feet into the seat. They get their client base and they understand that customer base back to front, and they understand all the requirements and needs. These are the key ingredients to make sure you deliver an exceptional service to those customers. We then complement our team with additional resources to really assist them in understanding further how they could develop their own profession, but how they could also help to understand our clients better. So if you've got a moment, write down these 3 or 2 books and one other speaker: Raving Fans, Delivering Happiness, and Joey Coleman, who's speaking at our conference this year. Raving Fans is all about, as the title suggests, creating raving fans for your business through interactions and touch points that will seriously deliver an experience that is no like any other. So what that means is every single touch point somebody has with your business is easy, simple, and they get the result they're looking for in a particular speed. So you'll notice when you deal with our organization that we have different ways to do this, particularly around people. This is super important because the more knowledge they have, the more information they know about your business, the more they're armed to go with and actually help out your clients. Some important ingredients here. So I spoke about Georgia, who sits on our support desk here at TOA. I've also got another colleague, Emil, who's based in Clark in the Philippines, and she's also fantastic. So in order to really deliver the wow for all of our customers, and as a global company, we do things a little bit differently. And it might feel a little bit creepy sometimes because we know a lot about you, and Nick will forgive me here for talking a bit out of turn. We actually have a profile of every single customer, and we look at digitally what's available. It's online, so it's on profile space, to see what you like and don't like. What that allows us to do is to provide you with an experience that is tailored to your likes and needs. So our people can really work with you closely and actually ensure that what we deliver is something that's in line with what you like. So from an accounting perspective, this is really simple and easy to do, because as your partners and directors or even your business reps go out and acquire new business and they understand what the challenges are, all of the people who support those functions in your business can have that information available to them so they can really deliver the experience that your customers are looking for. This is not rocket science. It's really not that hard. And I hope that you walk away today going, this is super easy, because it is really easy. You just got to take small steps to enable your team to really support your business and its growth. So for any of those on the phone call that are heading to the Philippines, Emil will be there to welcome you. And I thought it's really interesting. I wanted to show another little screenshot here, something that Airbnb did about 2 years ago. They had a hashtag called Airbnb Love. And so what they did in that particular space on Twitter was every single time one of their customers or clients chose to use Airbnb, they would provide them with a welcome pack, and they would look at what they've been doing in the past 6 months or what they're going to do in the future 6 months based on their Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn. And they would provide people with these little packs that are personalized to the journey they're on. So you can imagine you're on holidays with this particular lucky person, Anna Cochran, who's in the software community. She was traveling to Chile. So what Airbnb did was provided Anna with this little pack that gave her intel about where she's going to, but it also gave her a real lovely welcome so she could see what was happening. So really lovely way to actually welcome somebody to an apartment, but then also provide that personal experience. So our operating model is really, really simple. And we put together basically a growth model that allows us to complement our customers along their journey. It's really important to think about the front to back scenario. So as you market and acquire and you onboard clients or you bring them into your business, and as you start to support their growth for the lifetime that they're with you, it's super important that you have an operating model that allows your team to support each of those milestones. The retention phase is the most important phase. It is so much more cost effective to keep a client than to win a new client. Whilst winning is uber important, maintaining and retaining is doubly important. So what you need to look at here is think about frameworks that you can employ with your people that allow your business to scale, that allow your business to see and feel the customer interactions. At TOA, as I said, we have a growth model, and essentially at each stage of that growth model, our teams, client-facing and back office, are able to support our customers on that journey. We want to make sure that every single time one of our clients comes to the Philippines, they get the hotel they want to go to. They get the welcome pack that allows them to refresh themselves, be in the office, be really vibrant and energetic. We want customers, when they join us on the Gold Coast here, to seriously feel how good it is to be a part of this community and be welcomed genuinely with that authentic feel of a great client experience. So we talk about the operating model and what it means to have a particular framework in place. We call ours the TOA way, and that is every single step of that journey with us that you are wowed by the experience. If you're not wowed by the experience, we take all opportunities to improve it. We also brought in a new part of the process, the TOA way, which allowed us to measure happiness. And essentially what we use there is a thing called the Net Promoter Score. And as those come through, We really want to look at how can we actually enhance the experience, but also from the good side of things, how can we actually take away or not reduce what we have already? So think about the things that you do in your business today. What do you do to wow your clients? And do you make those experiences remarkable, memorable, so when they walk away, they talk to their friends at barbecues, they talk to their friends at events, and start to really suggest or even advocate for your business as well. So we spoke about the people and ensuring that they're on the journey with you. There's one of them I think I'll just speak a while, remind in the background. We also provided our team with 4 core values that we live and breathe by. And what that means is every single time you're interacting with a customer, you want to ensure that you tie a particular value to what you're doing. So if it's solving a problem, if we're creating a new opportunity for somebody in the Philippines to work with one of our awesome Australian, New Zealand accountants and bookkeepers, or it's Georgia on the front desk, we want to make sure that we live and breathe these values, because that's what starts to come through with our customers. The next is all about process. So as you're all accountants, like myself and bookkeepers, I know that we love to map out and understand all of the ins and outs for our customers and the way in which they work for us. So one of the second key ingredients you need to think about here, once you've worked out the way in which your people will support your customer experience, is to review what your customer journey looks like. So what you need to do to enable this is to build your process with the customer's experience as the focus. A lot of businesses around that I've seen and worked in previous roles have often worked out the process first and then looked at the customer experience second. We can think about some of our telcos back in the day, where it was often quite difficult to get through or get the right level of support, or even be delivered a telephone or a modem. All of those experiences weren't client-centric, nor were they client-first. So your process needs to support the experience versus the other way. So I want you to think about your business, whether you're an accountancy or a bookkeeping practice. The processes you have in place today, do they truly complement or enhance the experience that you have with your clients? Have you built processes that look at how you interact on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis? Have you thought about what processes would allow your team to be more effective and more efficient, and give them the space to spend time with your clients in a one-on-one scenario, whether it be by video link or by telephone? These are all the things that are really, really important to consider when you're thinking about what is our customer experience focus and how can we wrap around processes to seriously improve the perception of our firm. The final one here is all about technology. And so this is really close to my heart, because every single business that I've been around or with or part of now has gone through a serious technology transformation in the last 5 to 10 business years. We've all been through the cloud adoption. We've all been through the integration, the decoupling of how different solutions can help your business. But this is an area in which, as accountants and bookkeepers, you have a serious opportunity to really leverage what's in the market and provide your community of clients with a solution that allows your business to maintain that personal touch or that personal interaction at every single touch point. So when I say technology, I don't want you to just think about the files that you use for bookkeeping or the way in which you lodge a tax. I want you to think about the whole ecosystem of products and how that can really amplify the way in which you work with your clients and actually bring together a true human connection. Think about things like Twitter or LinkedIn. Think about those other opportunities using software packages that might actually enable you to do onboarding seamlessly. Think about the way in which you interact with your clients from an outcomes perspective, whether it's a tax signing software or something that allows you to sign their financials on the go. And then really think about, how do you interact with those clients daily, and how could you make a change to their lives so that the information you're trying to share is easy for them to access. Now, I've been a part of accounting for close to 20 years, And I know a lot of people have got intranets, a lot of people have got Facebook pages, a lot of people have got websites. Typically, your customers are probably not going to go there to seek and find information. So it's your job and your role as that advisor to make sure that you are front and center with your clients to ensure that what you deliver is in front of their minds every single day. And it might be by LinkedIn, it might be by Twitter, or it might be by an email. But those modes you choose to communicate through, you need to think about what the outcome is for the client, where they're going to see it, what's most applicable, and that will give you the ability to really bring home a personal touch. At Toll, we have quite a few platforms, and I'm going to speak to a couple of these platforms because I think it will allow potentially some of that creative imagination to really start flowing. We spoke about how people interact and what a big difference it can make to have a personal human connection with your people. We spoke about the processes and ensuring that your client experience drives the process, not the process driving your client experience. Now I want to talk to you about the technology component or the platforms and what it means to have these integrated into the day-to-day workings of your organization. So when you think about a typical accounting practice or a bookkeeping practice, most of us will have some form of bookkeeping software, some form of practice management software, and some forms of ledger and tax softwares. The firms that I've seen that are really starting to ramp up the client experience well are those that are starting to integrate into that work life and that workflow tools that allow you to map, manage, and effectively learn from your customers' behaviors and activities. There is software out there that allows you to collect this information and it really, really seriously changes the way in which your client will start to perceive you. I spoke about the fact that Georgia sits on our front desk and when someone arrives at our office, we know the cup of coffee they want. Maybe it's a glass of beer or even a glass of wine, depending on the time of the day. But we already know this information as they enter the room because we've connected our CRM into that particular booking as well. When we onboard a customer, we have systems and tools that automate so many parts of that journey that allow that client to really connect with us on a personal level. But as I said before, it's at scale. We bring on 30 to 50 new customers per month and probably about 300 to 400 new team members in the Philippines per month. We have to seriously have this world-class designed onboarding system that allows us to bring on that scale, but also maintain our baseline of customer, which is what we want to do, retain those customers and continue to deliver upon our promises. So we want to complement the client journey by using our growth model, allowing our people to understand how they play a part in that growth model. We've designed the client experience and put around that experience our processes. And now we're using the processes in the software to scale how we deliver those particular elements. So when you start to really break it down in bite chunk sizes, it actually becomes quite simple. And it's the little things that count. So you really want to make sure that you can implement technology to automate and motivate your client experience. I'm sure you've seen in earlier sessions today, and I'm sure you've seen in the market, there are so many tools you can use out there that will allow you to connect with your clients in different ways that you may not have thought about before. And if you don't know about the ways, then you should jump onto communities that are on Facebook or LinkedIn because there's a wealth of knowledge out there that will seriously drive that client experience. It's pretty funny, when I used to work in accountancy and I would have clients come and visit me, not that it was very often. Remember I said at the start, back in that day, it was really, really transactional to the point where it drove me away from being behind the desk and doing things like base returns and I returns. One of the most important things to remember, as I said before, is the feeling your clients walk away with is what counts for them. And that will be the thing that stays in their memory. So what you can do here is to make sure you collect those memories for your clients on their behalf and really allow them to see how much you genuinely care about what they're doing. You'll probably see in the industry, there's a lot of events every year and a lot of award ceremonies. One of the things we do here at Tower is every single time we see one of our customers or somebody else from a partnership get up there and represent our clients, represent their business and get a big award, we'll always send them a Tower hamper to congratulate them. Now, it's only a small measure of appreciation, but it goes a long way to forming what's a really solid partnership, and it shows an authentic and genuine care that we're actually super excited to see that particular person win. So if you think about your client base or the customers that you service, there are so many little things you can do on the way, just like I mentioned then with our awards, that allow you to become part of their emotional journey. Now, I mentioned something earlier about a CRM. So this is one of the integral parts of our business. Without this tool, all of the things I've spoken about, we wouldn't be able to do because it becomes stuck in my mind or Nick's mind or our CEO's mind. So here's the step change that I've seen with accounting and bookkeeping firms in the last 2 years. The firms that are out there that are really making a change and a difference to their customer lives are those that have a CRM tool, client relationship management tool, that allow them to manage and understand their client base intimately and to remember those moments that will make a lasting experience for your clients. Things like birthday reminders go a long way. I know I might feel a little bit corny to receive a message from your bookkeeper or accountant, but if I received one from mine, I'd be super happy because that means they know me back to front and I have a personal connection to that particular person. So that's really important. The second part we spoke about, and it was only just briefly, was all about ensuring that you know about your customers' happiness. So there's ways in which you can do this, and I'll take you through a couple of things that we do here at TOA. So we've mapped up different solutions because this gives us an augmented experience about what's happening in the marketplace. So on a quarterly basis, all of our customers receive an NPS survey. Not that it's always that greatly received, but what we do is we want to make sure it's out there and available because the more information we can gather from our customer base, whether it's good or bad, we'll take it. Like I said before, it's great to receive the good news because what that means is we don't want to change those things. It's super important to receive the bad news because it gives you and us the best focus points to improve upon and make sure we actually do that within time for the next quarterly NPS. NPS really allows you to simplify the way in which you work with your customers and get a really quick snapshot of what they think about you. The second thing here is we are always in the traffic. Now, you probably see my face a lot on LinkedIn. You'll see my team's face everywhere on Twitter, Facebook. We make sure we're in the traffic. Getting in the traffic means that you are active in the social media space. Getting in the traffic means you are active when you go into conferences and sponsorships. I know sometimes it's a little bit daunting to talk to people and sort of get outside the comfort zone, but getting in the traffic will seriously change the perspective of you, the perspective you have of the industry that you work within, but also of your peers. We make sure that all of our executives have customer calls frequently so they can get the voice of the customer directly into the business. There's no point in just having our C-suite not be in touch with our frontline clients or customers because that means they sometimes miss the ultimate truths. And then we also use technology. So we just implemented here 2 new platforms that really change the game when we actually deal with our clients. And what that means from an accounting or bookkeeping perspective is that if you were to use TOA, or if you do, we have a tool that allows you through a portal to see exactly what's happening with the team in the Philippines, but also with our business in a broader sense. So we can communicate effectively immediately at any time, any information, and we can see exactly what our clients think about us and how we can improve. And lastly here, as you start to really build out what is your awesome client base, the people that support your business and the partners that you work with, it's super cool because you're going to start building your own tribe and it will make you stand out from the rest as an accounting or bookkeeping firm. We've had a couple of questions come through so far, but Andrea, I'm going to pause there. We're up to the Q&A time. I want to leave you all with something just to think about today. What are you going to implement that will change your business, that will allow you to retain your customers? And I think fortunately in the accounting and bookkeeping sphere, we're quite lucky with loyalty. But what are you going to do that will make a difference to your clients? So the next time they see you, you or your team have a personal connection, you or your team are allowed to build into their journey that they're on emotionally. And how are you going to build out an awesome experience for your clients?
Well, thank you so much, Stephen. It's been a lot jam-packed into that, and I'm sure everyone can tell that TOA are absolute powerhouses at this stuff. So it's been really awesome to hear, kind of behind the scenes what you guys are doing. I'm just going to launch a quick poll just to
Sure.
see if anyone would like you guys to get in touch with them directly. I was thinking if you just have a minute though, if you just want to, for those who don't know, like I said, you guys are absolute giants in the industry, but for those who don't know, if you just want to give a bit of background to a bit more about what you do and before we do the call to action.
Absolutely. So, so we're a people business. So we're in the business of supporting local accountants and bookkeepers with offshore resources that complement their on-the-ground staff here in Australia or New Zealand. We've been in business for about 9 years now. We have more than 3,500 staff in the Philippines, supporting approximately 800 customers across ANZ, which is awesome. We love what we do. The most important thing about our business is we support all of our people and local accountants, as I said, with resource, but also complement that with professional development plans that allow their team to grow into new careers and new opportunities as they continue. Thanks, Anthea.
Awesome. Just before I let you go, we've just got one question that's come through. What can you do to improve customer experience that's cost nothing, zero cost?
That costs nothing. Look, and I think this is something that I would concentrate on, and there's no harm in doing this. This is actually really easy. It's all about connecting with your audience and making sure you have that genuine connection. So if I was to give you one tip to walk away with today to improve your customer experience, that is clearly understand your client, what makes them tick, and do small little things, whether it's via email, whether it's by telephone, that will assist their growth or their plans. It could be simple, something like this, Anthea, where I know, for example, that my brother wants to buy a brand new motorbike. And if I find out there's an opportunity down the road where he can get a score, I will call him straight away. So it's the little things that count, and they go a long way to improve the customer experience.
And I think that stands true for the whole boot camp. It's probably a good place to wrap up as well. Is it's about understanding your clients, whether that's your ideal clients back at the marketing, the planning, the attraction stage, or your existing clients and what's important to them. So thank you so much for everything, for sharing everything you've just shared, Stephen. Really appreciate TOA being present here as part of our boot camp. And I just want to wrap it all up. Our boot camp's been a fantastic 5-hour session today. So thank you to everyone who's joined, whether you've dipped in and out or come along to the whole sessions. Thank you so much. All the links, recordings, resources, and information on each of our partners will be available in the coming days through the